Hey, I'm Randy with R&R Woodworking. Today I'm going to show you an easy build. 12-inch pieces of wood, sander. I'm going to use a router because I like to round over the edges, and that's it. Well, I take that back. A little bit of super glue. These things are selling like hotcakes on Etsy. I'm talking hotcakes. We're talking about up into 30,000 sales on these things. Let's get to the build. Stick around to the end. I kind of show you what it is, and I also got a little tip at the end to tell you how to make even more money with even less work. Let's get to the build. Okay, I alluded to how much money and all the stuff you're going to be able to make. You need a 12-inch piece of wood. It doesn't have to be 12 inches. It doesn't have to be this wide. It doesn't have to be cedar. It could be anything you want it to be. But it needs to be somewhere 10, 12, 11 inches long. It's really not specific. It doesn't matter, trust me. But I was scrolling through Etsy and I found these things. I was trying to find easy 10-minute woodworking builds. And I come across this thing. And this thing has sold thousands, let me rephrase that, tens of thousands of these things. They're not big money. They sell for about 14 to 15 to 20 bucks, something like that. Did you hear what I said when I said tens of thousands of these things? Quick, do the math. I can't do that. It's a lot of money. All it's going to require is this. I'm going to put a little piece of cork on mine, maybe some super glue, and like I said, I'm going to round the edges off, but that's about it. Now, I am going to show you some of our lasering stuff that we do. We have 3 X tool lasers. We have 2 D1s, and we also have one P2. And get one. I'll explain more of that later. It completely changed my woodworking business altogether. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna round these edges off, and then we're gonna go into a laser. We're gonna kind of show you how that thing works too. Let's get over there and do it. Okay, right here I'm just grab anything with a radius, glue bottle, tape roll, whatever, and just trace around the corners. I'm just gonna kind of smooth out the edges a little bit before we round it over at the table saw. The router. I told you I was going over there first, but I didn't. I was gonna do this first, and then we're gonna go over to the router. But first we're going to trace this out, and we're going to grab the jigsaw and we're going to cut those corners off. And speaking of jigsaws, did you know that the modern jigsaw traces its origins back to 1946 when a Swiss engineer named Albert Kaufmann, who worked in Scintilla Ag, made a discovery that changed woodworking forever. Kaufmann wasn't trying to reinvent the tool world, he was simply experimenting. His wife owned a sewing machine, and one day he noticed a rapid up and down motion in the sewing needle. That sparked an idea. What if a blade could move just like that? Quick, controlled, and perfect for tight curves. Kaufmann replaced the sewing needle with a fine saw blade, clamped in a piece of wood underneath, and switched the machine on. The blade jumped up and down, slicing clean curves through all the material. It was unlike anything craftsmen have ever used before. It's fast and far more precise. Scintilla Ag quickly recognized the potential, and Kaufmann worked with the company to refine his idea into a first powered jigsaw, which they called the Lesto jigsaw. The design was compact, handheld, and relied on the same vertical reciprocating motion that originally inspired him. Only a few years later, Scintilla was acquired by Bosch, who further developed the tool. By the 1960s, Bosch models had gained global popularity, becoming the standard for the jigsaws in the world. The jigsaw's unique ability to cut curves and shapes was unparalleled. Today's jigsaws, corded, cordless, variable speed, orbital action, all of it is fantastic. And it's all simply because he watched his wife use a sewing machine. And the heart of the tool still uses the same idea. Small blade moving up and down, just like that sewing machine needle he modified in 1946. It's kind of neat, So right now we're back over here to the router table, and I just like to round over everything, man. I love roundovers. So you notice there, I'm keeping a tight grip on it, and you ease into that bit. Do not just slam that wood into the bit. Ease into it. Let it chop a little bit off of it, and then get your rotation going. All right, there we go. Round corners everywhere. Now we're going back over to the workbench. Just going to grab a 180. I'm not going to go crazy. It's just, it come out of my planer. I've got an Oliver planer, and it comes out pretty smooth. So I'm going to go straight to a 180 here with this rigid palm sander. Hit all the corners, everything like that. Just smooth it out. While I'm doing this, let's hear the story of Old Smoothie. In a dusty little workshop behind his house, Hank kept a hand sander he lovingly called Old Smoothie. Smoothie wasn't pretty. The handle was worn, the frame rattled, and the sandpaper had seen more boards than a lumber mill. But Hank swore Smoothie had character. One Saturday, Hank decided to sand a big maple board for a fancy charcuterie project. He reached for his shiny electric sander, brand new, loud, smelling like plastic ambition. But just as he plugged it in, the extension cord sparked, the sander coughed once and died dramatically, like it had fainted. Hank groaned. "Guess it's you and me today, Smoothie." Smoothie didn't respond, obviously, but if it could, he definitely would have winked. So Hank got to work. At first, it was slow, real slow, like watching paint dry, while thinks about drying slow. Hank's arm ached. His shoulder popped. He began questioning his life choices. The rhythm kicked in. Smoothie glided across the wood with a soft sh-sh like a tiny woodworking lullaby. Hank started humming along. The board transformed. Rough edges melted away and turning buttery smooth under Smoothie's steady grit and Hank's stubborn determination. By the time he finished, Hank stood back, sweaty, exhausted, slightly dehydrated, but proud. The board looked amazing. Smoothie looked smug. Just then, the brand new electric sander suddenly buzzed back to life on the bench. Hank looked at it and then at Smoothie and said, "Nope, too late. Loyalty counts." And from that day on, even when newer tools were around, Hank always reached for old Smoothie first, because sometimes old, humble hand tools still win one stroke at a time. All right, back over to the X-Tool P2. That thing is fantastic. See here we're going through, just lining up, taking a picture. It tells you how thick the material is. You can put in what the material is. Automatically sets all your stuff. As you can see there, I'm just circling around where the logo would be. That's the actual board. It's got a camera inside the laser itself. So we're just going to stick something on there and probably engrave it right there. We're trying to straighten it with the board and get the engraving, and we'll get that and show you what that looks like. Now we got the camera up over the laser, and you're going to see the laser come in here in a minute, and it's finna start doing its work, and we'll check it out here in just a second. We'll speed it up. All right, you can see it's burning there, and you start seeing a lot of smoke come up inside the machine there. We also have the air purifier on it. Fantastic. If you get those things, get the air purifier with it. You don't have to vent it outside. It just takes the smoke out, scrubs it, puts out fresh air. It's so much easier. Like I said, we got two D1 Pros, but this P2 is so much quicker when it comes to engraving. And as you can see, now we sped it up, but it took about 6 minutes to do that. Just like that, the laser's through burning on it. Pretty cool, huh? It's not bad. Like I said, the P2 is what we have. Man, it is a workhorse. It's a beast. It's a big one, but it's just so much better than what we've been using with the D1 Pros. I can't recommend X-Tool enough. The creative software is awesome. It's free. You can pay for some other stuff, but the creative space is fantastic for what we do. Making coasters, engraving our logo on everything that we sell, engraving charcuterie boards, cutting boards, acrylic, glass. I mean, it does it all, and it does it fast, and it's a great product. I can't recommend it enough. Pick up one. All right, if you hadn't figured it out now, it's a coffee holder. Put your coffee cup on it, put a little saying on it right there. On Etsy is where I found this. I found an idea like this. They had little snacks over here. They had their coffee sitting over here, and they just sitting there eating it, whatever it was. Kept it instead of having a plate, something like that. It was kind of cool, kind of neat. They sell these things on Etsy for $13.68, anywhere from there to about $19, somewhere in that ballpark. The one I looked at was around $14, and they sold, in 5 years, they sold 38,000 of these. 38,000. 38,000. $13, $15 don't sound like a lot until you start saying 38,000 of them. That's a lot. This thing right here was very simple to build. You saw me. I had a scrap piece of wood. I'm so sick of using scrap wood. I'm sorry. I had a piece of wood laying around. Nothing scrap because I'm going to keep it. Had a piece of wood laying around. I rounded the edges, routed it off, come in, stuck a piece of cork on it. Yes, I did use a laser. It took 6 minutes to engrave that. I can't recommend getting a laser enough. Completely changed our woodworking business. If you can afford one, get one. You don't have to have this. Go get you using off of Facebook Marketplace, something like that. So anyway, these are easy to make. Now I told you I was going to tell you a different way to make these things and make even more money. And it looks like that's what they were doing. A lot of them just had these plain old bamboo type look to them. You know what I'm talking about. And if you do that, we paid, that board right there is $5. That's a $5 board, and you can get four out of this. 4 of them. Think about that for a second. Stick a piece of cork on, a little bit of super glue, engrave it, use your brain and iron, whatever you're gonna do to put something cool on there, stick it on there and sell it for $15. One of them bought 3 of these boards. Told you it was gonna be a lot of money making these things. Leave a comment. I love to hear what you got to say. Tell me if you like the content, or if you want me to change up the content, something else you'd like to see. If you want me to talk a little bit more about lasers, I can tell you about my CNC as well. Just let me know what you think. If you like this video, check out one of these right here. Hopefully you'll like them too. Please like and subscribe. It helps more than you can possibly imagine. It helps us get our mission going and get this thing off the ground. Hey, thanks for watching, and may God bless you.